All right. We're getting good. We're making good progress. We're making good progress. Um, your girl Kimberly Max is saying the quiet kids are talking. This isn't dangerous, parents. Don't don't see the quiet kids talking and calling the government losers and the school system losers as dangerous. What you want to notice is the quiet kids are talking. Focus on what's important. Remember, like in painting, a focal point. Not the whole thing. If it all confuses you, just focus on one thing. Right? What am I looking at? The quiet kids, right? So if the quiet kids are calling the government and professors losers and you don't understand, then forget that part, right? Focus on the part that you do understand as a parent, right? It's like, my daughter is speaking. She never speaks in class. She never speaks up in class. Okay? So that's, focus on what you're good at and don't worry about the physics, the psychology, the art. Don't focus on the stuff you're bad at. Focus on what you're good at. If you're good at being a mother, just focus on that. Parenting. It's like, my quiet daughter is talking. She's being active. That's good. That's progress. Before, they didn't care. Whatever happens to the world, I don't care. Whatever happens to Jesus, I don't care. Whatever happens to Atlantis and Lemuria, I don't care. Whatever happens to the government, I don't care. They care now. Right? It started with men. Now it's beginning with Kimberly. They care. They're being vocal. They're like, this is wrong. Right? All Minh and Kimberly did was have a conversation. That's all they did. So Minh was like, Kimberly, what do you think? And Minh was like, Plato, let's take 100 years, just brainstorming. Again, brainstorming. That's what I'm thinking. And Nung and Thuit is like, yo, these people are losers. They're making Minh and Kimberly run away again. They're being vocal in school, in class. That's a positive. So don't look at Nicole and go, oh, that's bad. No, she's being vocal. There's something she doesn't like. Right? Okay, she went the wrong way with Minh, but who cares? She's being vocal. She's speaking up in class. That's the good part. Right? Of course, Nicole doesn't know what she's doing. You bypass that part. We learn about that later. Right? That part is like physics, dark math, and it's too complicated. Don't focus on that. Focus on the part that a quiet girl is speaking up in class. The same with Adolf and JFK. They're quiet and they're speaking up in class. Of course, we don't worry about how wrong they did it, right? We just focus on the part that, hey, man, they're actually talking in class. Right? That's a positive. Right? All the other bad stuff, we can teach them later. Right? Okay, when you speak up, raise your hand. Let's not use violence, things like that. We'll teach them that later, right? But the good part is the quiet kids are speaking up in class. That's the good thing. Right? That's what the earth is for. It's for you to speak up. Right? If there's something you don't like, speak up. Right? Believe in yourself. Calling the government and school system losers, That's a summary. That's a PhD. Make that into a program. Thwit and Nung. If there's something you don't like, make it into a program. It's like, yo, I don't like how the government's run. I don't like how school systems are run. I don't like that Kimberly is cold. That's what they're worried about. Like, Kimberly's cold. Oh no. Like Min. Like the other Kimberly. Oh my gosh. Min is running out of time. Right? They're like, oh my gosh, Min's running out of time. So again, Nung and Thwit is like, yo, Kimberly's getting cold. I'm concerned as a sister. I'm worried and concerned as a sister. And they're speaking up. That's good, right? So I see positives, right? I don't worry too much about the negatives. Again, Earth is fictional. Like, nobody really gets hurt. So you just skip that part, right? You teach them not to do that later. But the most important thing is nobody gets hurt on Earth, right? So knowing that, Min wasting his time, he doesn't get hurt. Kimberly being cold, that's not real. Okay? So yeah, we'll teach them all that hard stuff later. But the most important thing is they're speaking up. So that's good. Yeah, I just see progress every day. It's just small steps every day. Yeah, Min and Kimberly were just having a conversation. So you have paranoia. You get very paranoid when two people are talking. You start fantasizing about danger. Min and Kimberly are just talking. Min is like, I'm confused. Kimberly, what do you think? And Kimberly speaks in the language that Min understands. Right? Because Min knows studying is eternal. It takes a long time to study something. So Kimberly speaks in his language, 100 years. That's how I came up with that idea. I went at light speed in 100 years. That's how I came up with it. Right? So when Min sees that language, he simplifies it. It's like, oh, 100 years. Oh, 100 years. Right? That's how Min thinks. That's his language. It's no different from like sign language. And then you just understand it. So Min and Kimberly were just having a conversation. And Min is speaking in Kimberly's language. Kimberly is speaking in Min's language. Which is studying it takes a long time to study. So Kimberly would say, I'll take a 100-year break to study something new. And Min immediately goes, whoa. You went through 100 years? Like that? You went through 100 years? Like that? So that's how Min reads it. All right? It's for Min and Kimberly. It's not for you. Right? As you can see, it's too hard for you. Right? So you see with Nicole, love is too hard. She doesn't know what love is. Nicole just doesn't know what love is. Right? So when Jesus started talking about it, and Nicole's a freshman, right? That's why freshmen need to zip it. You don't know what you're talking about. So Nicole was like, yeah, I'm going to do something about it. To an Asian boy. It's very racist. She doesn't know what love is. She doesn't know what racism is. Like, you wouldn't do that to a white girl. Like, I came in, there's stuff that you would do to men, you stopped doing to me. That's racist. You would do that to men, an Asian boy, But once you saw a white girl come in, you wouldn't do that. Not that you're smart, you're just very ignorant and racist. All right, say, oh, a white girl. We'll never do that to a white girl, but we'll do it to an Asian boy. It's very racist. It's more ignorance, but it is racist. So yeah, that conversation's too complex. It's not for you, Nung and Threat and Justine Zarek and Jenna. That conversation is not for you. That is a very futuristic conversation. It's just not for you. You see, you panic. You're all on my phone, and you trying to give me hugs and kisses, and trying to make sure I'm okay. It's like, it's a conversation. Why are you so paranoid? So with parents, you just sit back and you're like, oh good, the quiet kids are talking now. That's progress. And you don't worry about Minh and Kimberly. All right, like Minh and Kimberly, those are like seniors. We don't worry about them. Yeah, so you don't worry about Minh and Kimberly. If they're having a conversation, like just don't even. Just shake your head, like, yeah, they're talking about something we don't know. We have no idea what it is. All right, we want to just sit back and just enjoy it. Like that's a Shakespearean conversation. That is a physics conversation. That is a deep conversation, and we are not deep. As you can see, we're not deep people. Like we're shallow. We're very shallow people. As you can see, you're so shallow, any movement will make you panic. Any movement in shallow water will make you panic. All right, Minh and Kimberly are like an ocean. There's all sorts of movement. There's life, so many different languages. All you guys and girls are like a pond, like a little shadow, like a little tide pool. You're barely anything. So what's good is Nung and Thuet they're concerned. They're concerned about Minh. They're concerned about Kimberly Max. That's good. But don't focus too much on what Minh and Kimberly are talking about, because it's just beyond your intelligence. What's important is Minh and Kimberly are talking, right? If you see that on Facebook, like, whoa, that's like Neo and Morpheus fighting. It's like, yo, that's the future. Whatever they're talking about, that's the future. Whatever they're talking about, that's the future. So Minh is finally opening up and is like, yo, isn't that racism? That's what he's asking. Isn't that just racist? What Nicole did? He doesn't know, right? He's been working on this for a long time. Remember, Minh understands that study takes like hundreds of years to understand. It doesn't. Genius is not real, right? You're either really focused and then you get it at a shorter amount of time, or you're not focused and it takes you longer. Right? That's all. Genius, the instant genius, that's not real. That's a fantasy. So Minh knows, like, this is a 100-year thought process. And he's asking Kimberly, what do you think? He wants to shorten it. Because Kimberly's so smart, she'll shorten it. She explains in a way that Minh can understand, and everyone can understand, where it'll take 100 years, it'll shorten it to a day. Right? So Minh, what's important is Minh and Kimberly are talking. Minh is opening up. It's like, isn't that racist? I don't know. Minh's like, I don't know. Isn't that racist? It's like, what is racism? And can racism look kind? Is there like, is racism like, like, can it be undetectable as well? Can you be racist and be undetectable? And what it is ignorance. Right? Racism is a root of ignorance. Right? So Nicole read about love, and Nicole has no education. No education. None. And she's reading a PhD thesis, right? From no education to a PhD thesis, and she doesn't know what she's reading. Right? For some reason, her brain said, Asian boy, do it. For some reason. And what it looks like is racist. Because you would never do that to a white girl. You would never do that to a white girl. As you can see, when I came in and everyone realized that I'm a white girl, they're like, they backed off. They're like, yo, we would do it to men, but we wouldn't do it to a white girl. And so it's racist, but it's more like ignorance. Like, they're really ignorant. Like, how do you explain ignorance? It's like talking to a cat. The 100 years is very real. It's like talking to a cat. Like, cat don't do that. Right? It might be afraid of the finger wag and the tone, but it doesn't understand cat don't do that. It doesn't understand the actual words. Right? So Nicole would have gotten like, don't do this, but she doesn't understand the actual language of Jesus. She doesn't understand that. She just understands the don't do this part. So she associate don't do this with an Asian boy. Uh-oh, Asian boys are dangerous. Right? Just like I read, danger and danger equals danger. Gotta get rid of them. Very racist. Very racist. So she associated danger. She just saw danger in the Bible. She saw it as a warning. And then she looked over and she saw an Asian boy that she doesn't understand. And she just put the two together. Just an innocent child, right? She's just like, oh, danger? That looks dangerous. It must be the same thing. I gotta get rid of it. So that's my understanding of what happened. Men's like, it gotta be more simple. Like, people are simple. People are not complex, right? So for Nicole to do something smart, she has to do something smart. She has to actually be smart. In order to do something smart, you have to be smart. That's what men understand. And men's like, but Nicole's not smart. Right? So it's like, but she's not smart though. So it's impossible for a dumb person to do something smart. Like, it's impossible. It's just not possible. So what Nicole did must have been dumb. It has to be dumb. So that's men's understanding, is that it has to be dumb. Just has to be. Because she has no education. It has to be dumb. And because you see with Kimberly, she's smart. Everything she does is smart. Everything. Everything she does is smart. And with DeRosa and the professors, it's like, you have to be smart to do something smart. You gotta be smart. So for them to continuously do something dumb, like not speak up, for them to continuously do something dumb, That must be a dumb idea. What DeRosa and the professors did. It has to be. Because there's a pattern of stupidity. There's a pattern. There's no smart and then stupid. It just doesn't work that way. So, um, so for Lauren and Zoe, it's like, I mean, it's kind of dumb. It's like, you can easily ask for that book. Like, give me the book on physics. So to, just like force yourself to figure it out, it's kind of dumb. Right? Because what Min would do is like, give me the book on physics, all physics. And then, boom, he has all the answers. That's the right way to do it. Right? You don't, like, what are you doing building a White House out of sand? Right? That's what Min understands. Like, why are you building the White House out of sand? That's what Zoe and Lauren were doing. Out of sand, they were building the White House, building physics out of sand. So yeah, so Min's like, so what do you like? What do you see? Because like I can't see it. So Min's understanding of patterns is correct. When you're dumb, you just continuously do dumb stuff, and there's a like we can see you do stupid stuff, right? So there's no such thing as dumb, smart, dumb, smart. There's just no such thing. It's either going up smart or it's just going down dumb. You see with Nicole, it just gets dumber. It just gets dumber. So yeah, Nicole just read the Bible. Was she always racist? Probably. She probably has some ignorance in her. And then the Bible just, it gave her it's like evidence that she's right, that her racism is right. And when she read the Bible, she's like, look at the Bible. Right? There's evidence that racism is good. That's Nicole's understanding. There's proof that racism, there's a benefit to racism because you get to stay safe. All right, so she was always ignorant, she was always suspicious, but then the Bible gave her proof that she can do that. She can, it gives her permission to be racist. All right, before she would just hide it. She would just hide being racist. So yeah, so if Nung still is planning to pick up Kimberly, go for it. Nobody's doing anything anyways. And nobody really cares about the earth anymore. Like nobody cares. So I guess we're just waiting on Nung to pick up Kimberly. I would have just taken myself out, but if that's what Nung really wants to do, go for it. Yeah, like your opinions matter. So if you don't like something, you should speak up. It's like there's something wrong with this. You know. So yeah, we'll just wait on Nung to pick me up, and we'll just chill until then.